be mindful of the desire for perfection. Finding the perfect connection is not a thing. Like it doesn't actually exist. There is no such thing as a perfect connection. There is a enjoyable connection. There is a aligned connection. Aligned is not perfect. I think a lot of people mistake that. If I'm having my aligned desire happen to me, it's going to be perfect. No. We're messy. This world is a big pile of mess, right? And um, you have to allow for some messiness to happen, especially when you're too, like, you're asking for a strong personality. You're a strong personality. Two strong personalities coming together could be magical, right? Or it could be like a plane crash. Horrible, right? There's no way for you to know that until you're actually in it, right? So when I get information for you about certain people, like, oh, this could happen, that could happen, this could be your experience, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still encouraging you to let the feeling take you, guide you, how you feel about this person above anything that I'm saying, because everybody has their pitfalls. Everybody has their things that are like, we all have our darkness, right? We all have our ego. We all have things that we're working through. I am not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So you're going to have two imperfect people coming together and saying, hey, let's have fun. As long as you're having a good time, they're not treating you like shit. They're not breaking any of your major or middle deal breakers. Maybe some of the lower things, they're kind of toeing the line a little bit. Let's have a conversation, right? So I think that there is a thing that you do, like, in order for me to let myself be vulnerable and open to this other person coming into my life and me potentially feeling something for this person meaningful and possibly forming an attachment, which we're trying to work through those. Um, I want to make sure that this is going to work. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to have any upset feelings. And the universe said, impossible. So you have to reconcile that. You have to say, okay, I'm going to date people and it's going to suck. I'm going to date people. I'm going to waste my time. That it's not a waste of time, it's information getting. Okay. I'm going to date people that I'm going to like more than they like me. And that's going to suck. I'm going to date people that like me more than I like them. That's going to suck. I'm going to hurt people. They're going to hurt me. That's going to suck. But in the middle of all of that, I'm going to have a lot of fucking fun. That's my goal. I want to have fun no matter who I'm with, no matter what I'm doing, any connection that comes into my world. I want it to be fun. I want it to be exciting. I want to feel adventure. Right. And if you're focused there and you're not focused on the possibility of the horrible stuff, then you're going to bring to you any of the joy that's possible for you. Then you will be able to have proper context, proper perspective about that person because you're not hyper fixated on all of the shit that they're doing wrong. You're able to say, okay, 90% of our relationship is absolutely amazing. This 10% needs a lot of work, like a lot of work. But we can do it. I think we can do it. As long as this person's willing to work with me, we can do it, right? And you have to navigate your way through different relationships to get to that point, to get to that place with someone, anyone. So people who date around a lot kind of have the right idea. It's just instead of gathering the information from those experiences, they kind of just go from one to the next to the next to the next. They're not really allowing that to be grounded inside of them and say, okay, that person that I was with for 2 weeks really loved this about them, didn't like that about them. So then the next person you're aware and you're saying, oh, I see you have that thing I didn't like. Okay, I'm done with you. Right. Or oh wow, like you have that thing I really liked, but like way more than that other person. Like, let's see where this goes, right? But I think the reason for the perfectionism is because of the fear of the attachment. You're afraid of becoming attached to this person that may or may not work out. You need it to be more sure of a thing before you allow yourself to become engulfed by the experience, but you're missing out. You are missing out on boatloads of amazingness because you're so afraid of becoming attached to something that isn't right for you. It's not possible for you to know that right away. And you could be having the most fun in those early moments, right? So if you can, it's another balance, right? It's finding that other balance between allowing myself to be engulfed by this without becoming attached. I have to allow some of me to become attached. I have to allow some of me to be pulled into this person's sphere, right? But I know that when it's time for me to pull myself out of this, if that happens, it may not happen. See, the thing is like by keeping yourself at arm's length for such a long time, and I'm not saying that you spend such a long time processing, oh, are you right? Are you right? Da, 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 da. It's like for you, it's more of like I like dipped my toe and it was kind of cold, so I'm gonna get out of here. But like maybe put your leg in next time. Like maybe put the whole leg, and maybe it feels cold at first, but then it's like cool after a while, And then you're like, okay, I got my leg in. It's kind of good. Let me try some more, right? I think working on that, being more open to the experience rather than the outcome. Let's live there a little bit more. What is this person giving me in my experience? Do I like this experience with this person? I'm not going to think too much about what's happening down the line. Sometimes you will know on the very first date. There is no way I want to spend another second with this person ever. Right. But you're not talking about that. You're talking about the ones you're not sure about. You're like, maybe it's a cold pool when I first stick my toe in, but then when I put my whole leg in, oh, I see that it's warming up now. Right. That's why we kind of reassess based on our deal breakers, right? Logically speaking, does this person break any of my most important and middle important deal breakers? Are any of those being broken? Any of the lower level stuff, are they breaking any of that? Because if that's the case, let's have that be a conversation, right? And if no deal breakers are being broken, but it's like feeling meh, right? Like it's not as like intense as I've had other experiences with people. And you're not sure what to do because it's not on your list, right? Spirit's then saying, well, what do you think about it? Does this need to be on your list? Okay. Or is it something that you're willing to see, give a little bit more time? That's where intuition comes in. That's where the focusing on the feeling of it is more important because they're on paper, they're really great. On paper, they're so good. But like in practice, in the moment with this person, I'm kind of not really feeling anything. Could be nerves from that person. They might have something else going on, right? That's where you say, okay, I'm going to abandon all logic and I'm going to ask my body, how do you feel about this person in this connection? And you kind of just check in with yourself and say, how does it feel to give this person a little bit more time? Maybe you don't feel anything. Okay. How does it feel to just cut them loose right now? Maybe you don't feel anything. Then at that point, it doesn't matter. What harm would it be to give it a little bit more time to see if something develops? Then at that point, you're going to think in your head, okay, I'm going to give this person 3 dates. At the end of 3 dates, if I'm not feeling something, then I'm going to know. Or, okay, it's been 3 dates. I feel like I could give this person a little bit more. So I'm gonna do 2 more dates. And if by that point there still isn't anything, then I'm gonna know that it's over, that it's done, right? And you come up with that structure yourself based on the person you're with, the situation you're in, and how you're feeling. right? Because it's going to be different for each person. It's going to be different for each experience that you have, how much room that you're giving them. But the most important thing is that when you do decide how much leeway you're giving that person, that you stick to it. That you don't say, oh, I'll just give them a little bit more. Oh, I'll just do a little bit more. Oh, yeah, okay, what's another date? Because this person's asking for it and I kind of feel bad. Like, all right, we'll give them another one. When inside you're like, I'm not feeling nothing at all, right? What's the point of having more dates? Unless you're actually having fun with this person, you're just not romantically feeling anything. So maybe that could grow. Maybe you could grow with that. I get along with them on sort of like more of a friendship basis, but let me see if something can grow out of that, right? You are the one that has to decide if that's what you're wanting to do. There is no rule book for this. You're the one that knows what's best for you. You're the one that knows what's good for you to entertain and not entertain. It's when we lie to ourselves about that because I feel responsibility towards this person or I feel lack, right? That's a big one. Oh, I'm on a date with this person. They're not horrible. And there's not that many people. Like, maybe I should give them a chance. And then you give them a chance all the way into having a baby and marriage. And then one day you wake up and you're like, wow, I really don't like you. And I knew it way back when, and we don't want to be there. So that's what I would advise for that.